Hey guys, J Star Wars 360 here to talk to you about my thoughts on the Ratchet and Clank movie. It was announced yesterday. There's a trailer. I'm not going to talk so much about the trailer because it really doesn't give us any clues to what the movie is going to be about or anything. All the trailer was basically saying was, "Hey, we're making a Ratchet and Clank movie." So, here's my thoughts on the very idea of making a Ratchet and Clank movie. First off, I think the idea is good, although I'm worried about how it's going to be executed. Now, before I say that, let me just recap my thoughts on the Ratchet and Clank games. I loved the first three games. They were really good, really fun, great humor, great weapons, great locations. My favorite franchise on the PS2. It just got better. The first one was already really good to begin with, but then it got better and better until you had Up Your Arsenal, which, in my opinion, is one of those perfect video games. But that's a review for another time. And Deadlock was fun too. I didn't get Ratchet and Clank for the PSP or PS3 because I didn't own those consoles. I said this in an earlier video. I was gonna get a PS3 back in the day, but it was really expensive, and Xbox was the thing, so I got stuck with Xbox, which wasn't bad, but yeah. So one thing that's always been on my mind, funny enough, I've always thought, maybe they should make a Ratchet and Clank movie. And now they are one. So naturally you think, I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, they're finally making it. But I do have some concerns. Number one is the humor. Now, Ratchet and Clank's always been funny. But I feel like recently, the recent games, which even though I haven't played them, I watched, saw bits and skimmed through it on YouTube just to get, because I wanted to know, the story. Because I'm big on story in games, so. And the future games were pretty funny. The recent ones they did, though, All for One and Full Frontal Assault, they weren't as funny. So I'm worried the writing is not going to be as good. First four games, all hilarious. Even Deadlocked, which I don't think is the best one in the series, and is regarded by the Black Sheep as many, it still had great writing, it still had great humor. And they even had subtle adult jokes. What I'm worried about this movie is that the writing is going to be a little weak. It's going to be a lot of little kiddie jokes. There's nothing in there that's going to be really funny like in the previous games, where they parodied Courtney Gears and stuff like that. It's going to be a dumbed down for little kids, which I hope they don't do that. And so that's pretty much my main concern, is that this movie's made for little kids, not that it's going to be really dumbed down for little kids and stuff, which I don't want. I want something that I personally can enjoy. And so that's my next concern. My second concern is financials. I don't think this film is going to do well in the box office at all. Number one, I think a lot of people who don't play Ratchet and Clank are just gonna look at this trailer and say, "This looks like something for babies." And I don't blame them. This new art style, while it's good, yeah, it looks like babies. As opposed to Tools of the Future games, which looked like something out of a Pixar movie. It looks like baby stuff, but. And another reason is it's coming out in 2015, which so many big movies are coming out in 2015. You have the new Star Wars movie, The Avengers 2, Finding Nemo 2, Kung Fu Panda 3. That's just to name a few. So hopefully they can find a good time to release it and really advertise it so that way it doesn't bomb in comparison to the other ones. Because if this movie does well, they'll either make more, or they might take another PS2 franchise like Sly Cooper and give that a movie, which would be awesome. So that's one thing. So another reason why I think it's going to bomb is lack of publicity. I'm worried that they won't make this movie publicized enough. It'll be like Sly Cooper 4, where Sony did no advertising for it at all. And so I'm concerned about that. I'm also concerned about the studio making it. I've never heard of them in my life. I mean, I haven't looked them up or anything to see what they did, but I've never heard of them. Like, and I feel like a lot of people have, and that worries me because brand recognition is one thing. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll see a movie that's good regardless of who it is, but this is a really lesser known studio, and when it comes to animated films, there's three big studios. Three big ones. These guys have such a big name out there that people always go see their movies. They're Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks. And I've always thought that if they should make a Ratchet and Clank movie, either Pixar or DreamWorks should do it because, again, they're really big name guys. And that would get them out, and they'd really, and because they're such a big name, it would get a lot of people in the seats. So what concerns me is that people are going to see this lesser-known studio, unknown studio, with this babyish cartoon and just write it off. So that concerns me. It's, again, I'm not saying I don't want it to bomb, but I'm just worried that's what's going to happen. Now, so enough about that. Let's talk about what I want in Ratchet and Clank. Number one is something that's already going to happen. All the voice actors are coming for this one, which is going to be good. It's going to feel like Ratchet and Clank. I like how this is going to be done the same animation as the previous games, which is, I mean, I prefer if they did in the one they did for the future games, but this works too. But I just blanked out. But I'm weird. It's gonna be weird though. It'll be like it's the same animation as the video game. So it'll be like I'm watching the video game. It'll be like a weird mishmash of video game and movie. Let's see, what else am I excited for? Well, if they can get the humor right, I really hope they get the humor and writing right, like back from like the PS2 and future trilogy. And the last thing I want is Dr. Nefarious needs to be in this. He's like the fan favorite villain. I love him. A lot of people love him. He's really funny. He should be in the movie. And also, let's see what else. Oh yeah, and also some nods to the previous games would be nice for fans. And let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, one thing I just realized that concerns me: whether or not they can write a cohesive hour-and-a-half story. Because writing a plot for a game and writing a plot for a movie are very different. So I'm wondering, are they going to be able to pull this off and make it work? And hang on, there was one more thing I wanted to say about the Ratchet and Clank movie. Oh yeah, I hope that it serves as that it really helps that it not only serves as something that Ratchet and Clank fans enjoy, but it also brings a bunch of new little kids and gets them into Ratchet and Clank and gets them to play all the previous games and stuff. Because it's a great series. So to recap, I think that the concept of a Ratchet and Clank movie is good. I just hope it's done right. Because video games based on movies usually don't do that well. But hopefully this one will be different. Oh, that's all I wanted to say. This is J Star Wars 360. Have a nice day.